Are you optimistic about the happiness of the future? Do you think we're going to get happier as stuff like AI and automation takes over?
I think so, but I'm a little confused by it. And so I spent my whole life thinking, in school, trying to learn so that I could get a job that I would enjoy and that would really interest me. And is that still going to be possible? I just finished my second book, and it was tons of fun writing it, but will it be just as fun when I could tell ChatGPT, hey, write my third book as if you're me, and then it writes it better than I could, right? And even it sounds like me. I don't know. That kind of, it intimidates me because I grew up in such a different world. But I can easily imagine that growing up into that world, it now just becomes this really lovely place. And so the unfortunate thing right now is that when we look at people who are unemployed, so to speak, and either they have no choice or they don't need to be employed, often boredom is the biggest problem. And especially if people live remotely, boredom leads to all sorts of social pathologies. And so you could easily imagine that this dystopian future, I personally think it's going to be the opposite. I think that there's going to be so much opportunity for entertainment. Just look at TV as a for example. When I was a kid, there were 3 channels on TV, and usually there was nothing good on any of them. And now there's so many good TV shows that I'd love to watch that I just don't have anywhere near the time for it. Now that might sound trivial, but Danny Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize in economics, but it's a psychologist, he showed us that there's a real discrepancy between your retrospective happiness and your happiness in the moment. And so if you study people in the moment, what makes them happy, it's very different from what they tell you later. Now and so he'd send them, this is a long time ago, so he'd beep them on a device, and then they'd say how happy they are and what they're doing. And he found, no surprise, that your intimate moments with your partner, having sex, was people's happiest moments. But TV came in second. It's crazy how nice it is watching a show that you really enjoy, especially if you're doing it with friends, so you're sharing that reality and then talk about it later and stuff. So I think there's going to be so many sources of entertainment that when we don't have to work, those who don't want to work won't, and probably will have a fun and meaningful life. But I have to admit, it's hard for me to envision what that world's going to look like.